city or in the province so that our residents can have that sense.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, honorable greetings to the Chair, the Gauteng Province Legislature, the Petitions actually Committee, all the officials actually present today, the local actually community leaders, the community. I am Petros Kwela from Gauteng Department of Health in the Tshwane Health District actually office. I am actually responsible for infrastructure. Yeah,
Ara utlwa lebitso, o ile ka speed, re batlo o le itse lebitso le. Ke mang?
Petros Kwela.
Oh, Petros, bara
Yeah.
Petros Kwel.
Yes, actually, Chair. I'm actually from the district actually office. I was actually expecting my colleagues from the provincial actually office, infrastructure management directorate. Yes. The actually feedback that has been given, it is correct. I'm actually just only going to add on the information that was not actually mentioned. Actually, what I actually can indicate is that actually COVID actually did delay some of the engagements, but we were not actually not doing actually anything. Actually, what I can indicate is that the City of Tshwane offered Gauteng Department of Health through GDID. If you actually may ask, what is a GDID? GDID is Gauteng Department of Infrastructure Development. Gauteng Department of Infrastructure Development is the implementing actually agent on behalf of Gauteng Department of Health. So what happened, they offered us an alternative site, which was R3799. From the aerial maps, it indicates that it's very close to the actually previous site, which is R3438. The actually only challenge was that the alternative site that they were offering us was small. Yeah. If I can mention on the size, the actually alternative size was 1.2 hectares, and we actually required 2.5 hectares for a community actually health center. Yeah. So we actually engage with the DIT and the City of Tshwane that no, we actually reject the offer. We definitely need the actually old site to be reinstated. We actually get that petition that was already offered to be renewed, or the actually petition time to be extended, or the site be officially donated. So those engagements are actually still in progress. Yeah. As a result, the budget has not been allocated for actually that project because the issue of the land has not been resolved. Yeah. So actually, what I can add, the actually department didn't stop there. Yeah. Actually, Chair. In 2019, the actually department brought a new park home, 8 rooms, and they installed a actually new park home to actually cater for the additional services in the clinic. I'm sure the local actually community, they know about the actually park home that was installed. And then during actually COVID, we also got a donation from private donors, and actually that structure actually added as a relief actually to the demand of the service delivery. So the issue of the site, as I usually conclude, is still not resolved, but the DIT is engaging with the actually City of Tshwane. Yeah. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ndate Petros. Councillor, so that is the response. Unfortunately, because When I was councillor, dula ko counseling, you will understand some of these processes. Whether it makes sense, whether it makes sense. My worry is that from 2015, I mean, there was a permission granted for the department to occupy. Meaning that this piece of land was earmarked. And remember, the initial request in the petition was for, meaning that from an upgrade, if we had started there, we could have resolved that part. And if there were any plans to expand, that would came afterwards. So that there's a level of a prioritization. Obviously, when you expand, you also don't want to hamper the functionality of the existing facility. I don't think the intention was saying, stop, build another clinic. So we could have started with upgrade, and then if at all possible, connect the two. And I'm worried because mandate of providing health services, it's carried in all spheres of government, local, provincial, national. And here it seems as if we're passing the baton to the provincial sphere of government. Whereas also as the City of Tshwane, we could have also taken steps at ensuring that that site remains as it is up until the relevant department in the province fast tracks its processes to deliver the kind of facility that will have been intended. So report, it does not set us at ease. You know, it still says there's a problem. It doesn't say we're resolving this issue now, or we're resolving this issue within a determinable, date that will assist the of a refill. And I can almost imagine the burden because the caption population has grown. And it might mean the existing clinic is overburdened. And so on. You can almost imagine. So a discussion about park homes, are we saying they are there or we are yet to deliver them? What is the discussion?
Thank you, Chair. If I may respond correctly, the park home is there and it is operational, it's functional.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me quickly give to Mukanselara to just make his reflections on the report.
Thanks, Chair. And with due respect to Ndatekwela, I know what here we're not targeting any particular person, but the processes. We are saddened by the pace with which the department is moving. And I'm sure so we're not happy. I think that's what I can submit and register. We're not happy with the process. I think we need to come up with a mechanism to speed up the process.
Okay, so those are the reflections I'm a councillor, and I agree with him. Because if in 2015 there was a request for an upgrade, have we only supplied park homes or have we also upgraded the facility? That's one of the questions. And now that DID has approached the City of Tshwane, how far is the process? But also, what are the initiatives that the City of Tshwane is taking to pressure DID, to pressure the Department of Health in the province, or we really need to move with speed? Because let me tell you, at the level of the province, there's nobody who lives in the province. There's no one. Every one of us resides in a community. And every community, it's demarcated into a ward. And every ward falls within the geographical boundaries of a specific municipality. The community of Refilwe falls under the jurisdiction of the City of Tshwane. Meaning that the City of Tshwane must also demonstrate their responsiveness in ensuring that the demand for adequacy of health facilities is being seen to be done. So that we don't just pass the bag and say the province. Nobody lives in the province. And neither does anybody live at national. Yes, we have got the institutions at national, we have got institutions in the province, but ultimately, the end user, the beneficiaries of a public amenities are in our communities. So, I would have felt more comfortable if you were saying, these are the steps that have been taken. These are the time frames. This is what we are working towards. Because as it stands, this report leaves much to be desired. It creates a lot of uncertainty around when this issue finally would be resolved. And by the way, the park homes are just a transitional arrangement. You know, park homes are not necessarily intended to be health facilities. I'll tell you why. There are instances where you will find that as it relates to women's health, the facility that is there, maybe the park homes, are not structured in a way that enables a privacy. Because you would not only be contending with that aspect of health provisioning alone. There might also be somebody who wants counseling on a specified ailment that they might have. It could be HIV, it could be cancer, it could be any non-communicable disease. And so how do we ensure their privacy in a setup which is not enabling? And that is why we say this matter, you know, issue yeah, health. I'm sure as you will appreciate from the Constitution, section man, Dr. 27. The provision of health services needs to be qualitative. And so in part we might understand the arrangement that you have homes. But what are the turnaround timelines? What are the turnaround timelines for the finalization of this matter? So that it doesn't become a matter that is there, you know, indefinitely, because we are now in 2024. This matter was raised in 2015. We usually understand that government, bureaucracy, it might take a bit of time, but it can't be unreasonable. You know, it just can't take 9 years to upgrade the clinic, possibly even to expand it, to even expand its functionality and services. Because the request was clear. We are requesting that the clinic be converted. What category is this clinic? Is it a CHC?
Chair, the actually intended end product is a community health center, as you put it, a CHC, Chair.
Yeah, but you see, it has not happened. I mean, just that aspect. And that aspect has got nothing to do with the infrastructure setting. But it has got to do with the determination in categorizing it differently. You know, in the recruitment of personnel to have a rotation system that enables attending nurses to work on shifts, you know, if at all possible. But we have not even attended to that issue. So, just to respond to us on those a few points that we'll have raised. But earlier on, I forgot to mention that I'm not alone. Can I lay my colleagues, members of the legislature, member Ndlovu, member Mfikwe, member Peach, le member Dikhamelo Azule. We come from different political parties. Again. So we are a multi-party committee. I'm sure they might want to at some point. But let me start.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, as you actually express your actually consent on behalf of the community of Refilwe. Yeah, as the actually end user, Gauteng Department of Health and Wellness, we definitely could engage DID because it seems the actually City of Tshwane, the actually processes and whatever they following to actually release the actually land, we actually need to look at an alternative if there is an alternative site that is actually big enough, which is not far away from the community of Refilwe. Yeah, and actually that is one point that I'm actually gonna raise. The actually second point we actually need to actually engage with DID to actually put pressure on the City of Tshwane, and they come up with time frames on resolving actually this issue. I know that next month we're going to start a new financial year, and surely we actually should be actually putting actually some measurable actually goals actually in place to actually say by the end of financial year where will we be.
Yeah, but you know, I'm really worried about that
Thank you,
response
Chair.
as well. Because we were postponing, we're assuming, or maybe in the financial year. How many financial years have passed? You know, and we keep on saying, hopefully, the Department of Infrastructure will pressurize the City of Tshwane. What is our role as a health district? Because we can't sit back when there's this pressure and keep on hoping. I thought coming into this session, you would present us with a roadmap. Or we are meeting the City of Tshwane on this date to finalize this issue. And then from there on, these are other milestones that we have identified. And these are the time frames for that. Even if they are provisional. But to come into a meeting, your community and say, we hope. Government can hope. Government must give hope to people. It can't say we're hoping. That's the question. So we need concrete solutions and proposals around how we're going to resolve this issue and when. Because this matter has become all too urgent. Let me tell you the reality of these areas. They've expanded also because they are informal settlements, which implicate the functionality of the existing clinic. And so maybe what you might want to do, Councillor, he must go back. They must refine the report. The report must be able to tabulate time frames. And where there are stumbling blocks, you must be able to point out to them or who is causing the delay. Because the City of Tshwane says, let's identify another piece of land. But have we mounted pressure as health? We don't get a sense of that in the report. So, with your colleagues And maybe through intergovernmental relations, a platform, force that meeting so that it reflects and redefines the agency within which this intervention is needed, including the time frames. Because it's not enough. I mean, this report doesn't. You can almost imagine if the councillor were to convene a public meeting, as answer for feedback, what do you expect him to say? Maybe re tlhalose gore mo councillor ke yo tshwantse a ilo fana ka feedback. What must he say?
Honorable Chair, I actually do respect the position of the councillor. I wouldn't be able to.
No, ke batla gore wena o re botse gore if you were mo councillor having received a report like this, what were you going to say? Akere ba rometse wena kwa wena they are most trusted ally. You are representing the body fabric of the Department of Health. So I want you to explain to us, or what do we say to mo councillor when he has to report back to the public? What report must he give? Do you think there's a report for him to present to the community?
It actually will be on a difficult position because I don't even sit on the council, where.
No, tloela eng ntate Khwele.
It will be
Ke re,
difficult.
if you were to step into the shoes
Yeah.
of the councillor, re address as a chabase, having received this kind of a report, how are you going to present it?
Oh, okay. The actually first step that I will take is to take the issue actually to the council and actually get actually their response as well. Yeah, yes. Because the actually response from the department won't be enough. Yeah, yeah.
Ya re bua councillor re bua ka setšhaba.
Yeah.
Re bua ka setšhaba.
Actually, what I will do, I will request a time, actually opportunity that is from the community to take the issue to actually council, yeah, for them to actually guide on the way forward because the issue has long been outstanding. Yes.
Ya re tlo fa are mo councillor ka tumelo ke batla re fe ntate Khwele 7 days. And maybe not only ntate Khwele, we need to get who's the MMC of health in Tshwane? Sambo, who's the MMC of health?
It's Councillor Marx.
Who?
Councillor Marx.
Morris. Oh, Councillor Max. I think we need to have a session with Councillor Max. Yeah. As well as all these parties. The Provincial Department of Health, as well as the DID. You are going to play a facilitative role. You are going to assist us to meet these people. We want to do it.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I will.
We want to do it within 7 days. Is it okay?
Yeah.
We want to do it within 7 days.
Thank you, Chair.
So that we get to the root bottom of this issue. Again, whether we can do or whether we can do. Na go ngo tshwantse re botse setšhaba nnete, a re palelwa, a re gona ra gona. Again, e se ka nna ntse re postpone indefinitely. So ntate Khwele re kopa ntho akere you will monitor it, you will follow it up. Ntate Sambo. O ka re ha o sure. O sure? Yeah. You must put your neck on the block. When I learned Ntate Khwele, you are putting your neck on the block, akere? Or it's going to happen.
Yes, Chair. I accept the responsibility, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Ntate Khwele will assist us to convene a session all the relevant parties, provincial departments, both of health, DID and the City of Tshwane, so that we finalize this map. Are we agreeable on that approach, Councillor? Okay, so thank you very much. Do you members, do you want to come in? You are fine. Okay, so members are okay. We'll follow it up and then we'll generate the report, we'll share with the councillor. The councillor, you are also going to join us in the meeting. Yeah, you must join us in the meeting. So thank you very much. Let's step off that one. What time is it? I want us to, maybe let's take the last one and then we break for lunch. Is it okay? Yeah. I think let's take the last one and then we break for lunch. We'll come back after lunch.
Ke a leboha modulasetulo, ke tla kopa Rre Nkote a tle ka fa pele. Tate Nkote, Patrick Nkote. Ke bitsa gape le lefapha la dinamelwa, Rre Mahibila. So petitioner to dilanga ona ba haitso hona ya nong ke bitswang hore ke road R513 Cullinan. Registration PP 24D0219RT. The petitioner is Mr. Patrick Nkotwe, who resides in Cullinan, submitting the petition on behalf of the residents of Cullinan. The petitioner alleges that R513 was closed in 2015 due to a manhole which made it impossible for road users to utilize the road. He further alleges that the National Department of Road and Transport has declared the road unsafe and no longer user-friendly. As a result, he alleges that the Gauteng Department of Roads and Transport committed to build an alternative road that is scapegoating for the community, but to date they are still waiting. Furthermore, he alleges that the interim gravel road has too much dust, which is a health hazard to users. The petition was adopted and referred to the Gauteng Department of Roads and Transport for investigation and reporting. And it was also tabled at the Tshwane external hearing on the 7th of March 2019, even though the petition was still within the stipulated time. It was tabled on the basis of its similarity to issues raised in previous road-related petitions. So today, Chair, we are about to hear the progress made in relation to this particular road. Thank you.
Okay, Ndate Nkoto kwa. Ute. Ki visa bill. Nkoto.
Nkotwe.
Oh, Nkoto. Ndate Nkoto summary ya petition ki yona eo. Are you confirming it? Is there anything that has been omitted possibly?
No, I'm confirming it.
Okay.
What has happened to date, there is a temporary road that was built, which now we are using.
No, are tloele mo, and then we'll get a full report from the department. Mo department thing, borre kana ke boma. Ako le nne mmajato ba Mike ne. Le shota ka di Mike. Ane ke shoro mo or la di meo ne. Oh, maybe wa bereka o tla ke bona. Re ke la di meo wa ga o. Wa utlwala. Yeah. Tla berekisa o. Jesus.
Good afternoon, Chairperson of the Petition Standing Committee and the members of the committee. Redumedi say the petitioners Tarona and the House at large. Kalibitso kina Russell Mutsamai Mahibila from the Department of Roads and Transport.
Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, petitioners, and community members. My name is Maputi Onismas Mukovani from Roads and Transport. I'm the DDG of Roads Infrastructure. Thanks.
Kere dilo tse tshwanetse re di tlhalose le tswa ko provinceng ake.
Yes, Honorable Chairperson.
Akere nako nngwe we also run public education. Or batho ba ko bo rona ba kgone. Yeah, oh, tima oh maybe. Yeah. So kera ora nako nngwe tshwanetse re fane ka tlhaloso so that batho ba ko bo rona ba nne le kitso. Or lona le tswa le ko provinceng, a le tswa in the City of Tshwane, akere. So petition le le bone ne re kopa le re fe report ya yona. I know the MEC of Roads and Transport is opening up another road around the Cullinan. I'm not sure where, but I was told o ka ro tshwile MEC o tlile ba re retle. Are ere ke go bula tselele. Maro tla re tlhalose morre.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. MEC, Honorable MEC, Achoa, the road was anyway going to be opened. That is the D483 in this site, so we are launching it today. On the petition at hand, as the road department, we acknowledge that this road was closed in
Mabel tshwara are dile ka MEC e bulang ke feng yo?
D483. That is the one that comes from, I think it's this road.
Babsfontein.
Yeah, it's coming from the Batsfontein area to Cullinan.
Oh, la itse ba holo. Tsela eo, la e berekisa. Okay. All right, sharp. We just wanted to know.
It was an upgrade of that
All
road.
right, thanks.
So on this one, Honorable Chairperson and members, this section of R55,
Are utlweleng report one? Are utlweleng report?
this section of R513, which is adjacent to the mine pit, was of course closed in 2015 due to the collapsing of the mine pit wall. The following was made then as a progress. Temporary gravel road deviation was constructed by the department to restore the access to Cullinan. Due to community complaints, the gravel road was surfaced. Due to the bypass alignment, signboards restricting heavy vehicles over 10 ton were erected. And on the 2nd of March 2018, the mine pit wall collapsed further. And Petra Diamond notified the GDRT, our department, that although the bypass was safe, the railway line and railway station is within the red zone, closer to 100 meters, from 500 deep mine pit, and must be closed. These have influenced in construction of the K14 as planned railway bridge over the K14 will not be required anymore. Meeting was held with Transnet on the 2018 to establish whether Transnet intended to close the line into Cullinan. Properties Transit Rail took place since 2018, the latest being July 2022. Metric design was approved, pavement design, road signs and markings was approved, water use license, the Transnet and the mine on the table. So they come to the meeting and failure, the reason is then to say if they are as the department from with our own panel, if maybe they are no longer interested in proceeding with consultant. Further to that, Honorable Chairperson, this, you all know that procurement takes an L to get the contractors to fix and we conclude this discussion and see how do we move forward. But we can confirm, Honorable Chairperson, that already appointed. So we're just gonna tap into that, in those panels and use that. So should we have a meeting, we won't have much further delays in implementing the road. Thanks, Honorable Chairperson.
That is the report, your views on it.
Chairperson, let's appreciate the report. To make a department aware, if you remember, I think it must be 4 years ago, Camille Drift Hall, you gave us the same report to say change. It means for us as communities, will again have to wait for the petition committee to come again. The road that we are talking about is not only saving Cullinan, in saving people of Mpumalanga, they are coming through that road. We're saying Cullinan itself and the surrounding area on Verwacht. So the workload, they are on that road every day. I think, Chairperson, it could have been a tour of the road. That road, there's a steep hill, a very, very steep hill, where every day a havoc and death is happening on that road. And I think in a week, you're talking about 2 nasty accidents where people, one, now, for us to be having a discussion where it's between Transnet and the, because I think the issue of a bridge has already been more than a year that has been discussed, and it's not getting any finality. And I don't understand why now do we have to push for a bridge, while the road that, the railway that we are talking about is a tourism road. And for your information, that is not there from here to Rayton. We don't, and the company that was doing that steam train is no longer doing because they are not affording to do that. So we are asking to you that we say, we really need this road. It's a danger to us. That's from Tshwane. That gives you how many accidents are happening and how many fatalities are happening on that road. So we are losing more lives. I think for you guys to be sitting talking about the 30 million for a bridge. So now much is done. So that means you are not going to meet. I don't know. I want to have an understanding. How are we going to know what is happening between you and the mine? Because another thing that I know is the money that the mine was actually putting aside for you to have the consultant is now being moved to another project. Because the MRS was fighting with them to say, look, we can't be keeping this money there. So that money has been project where they are going as water reticulation in Cullinan. So we are losing in that. So please, can you give us a better understanding in terms of when you are meeting? Already this March is done. Which is the date that you are going to meet and how are we going to get a feedback on that? Thank you.
All right. I'll tell you, it's a well-sounding report, at least on the face of it. But in that thing, Gwede is quite correct. There are areas of a concern. There are areas of a concern. And one of those areas, it's the extent of time given to your engagements with the mine. DDG, the extent of time given to your engagements with the mine. Because if you say you engaged in 2018 and then recently 2022, and you have not found one another on what should happen, and we are now in 2024, it sort of creates a bit of an anxiety. And the frustration under the Nkwet is justified. Because how long from now would this matter be finally resolved? And I'll tell you why he's justified in raising that concern. Ultimately, the responsibility of road maintenance or road construction, particularly in specified designated areas, which says the province must come on board, falls on you, not on the mine. Unfortunately, nobody can hold the mine accountable, you know. And so it would have given a bit of comfort if we're saying, if we are unable to find one another by the fall of the current financial year, from the new financial year henceforth, we would assume the responsibility, just like you were indicating, DDG. So that we create a level of a certainty on the turnaround times of our intervention. Because seemingly, and you know, a mine is a mine. It may not necessarily prioritize the issues that Ntate is raising. So they are not gonna worry themselves about whether there are accidents there, overburdening of the road. They are not going to be concerned about that. Ultimately, they are going to be concerned about profit making, because that is what is within their purview. That is what they are orientated towards. But the mandate of the Department of Roads and that there's a usage of roads, there's access to roads. You see, so it can be implicated by the mines being reluctant, you know. And I'm not so sure whether we will have tried any other avenue to pacify mediation. I'm not sure whether we have considered the option of a mediation, so that with the necessary terms of references defined, all right, we are now engaging formal. End of these engagements, if we are not finding one another, this is that can be undertaken, so that we sort of build some level of confidence that we are processing this matter. I mean, we can, there's a demonstration that you are ready for it. But the challenge is that it's subject to an approval of a mine, and whose mine is not binding itself on any time frame. So it's open-ended, you know. And you can almost imagine how frustrating it will be to the users of that road, you know. One of the things that I'm aware that they inquired, the MEC of Roads and Transport, so she usually responds timeously to petitions. So that the DDG, maybe in consultation with the MEC or whoever, you know, decision makers in the department, to take stock and reflect, you know, around how you can enable process a certainty, because it's a process thing, but you also need a level of a certainty in it, so that nobody reading into the report says, but at what point is this thing going to be resolved? Because you don't have the powers to impose on the mines. You can't tell the mines, or no, you need to give us a response by next week. But when you have got terms of references, at least it regulates your engagements, and it sort of times them. So that if you say a month, and at the end of the month, if we are unable to find one another, these are the other options. And you, otherwise it's going to be a secular discussion. You are going to wait indefinitely waiting for the mine. You know, and like in that thing, Nkwete explains it. The rail network, it's not one that connects economic nodes, isn't it? Is. So it's not a critical network. You know. So you may also need to look into how to reach out, maybe to DMR, so that possibly they can also play a mediating role or intermediary role in resolving this problem. You know. Yeah, I don't know, members, your view? Are you fine? Okay. Members are agreeable on that approach. So if we can do that, you know, and then maybe just time it. I'm not so sure, because ultimately we'll need to have a definite time frame. So what I want to suggest, TDG, is that we allow you, and I'm sure we can also reach out, we allow you, you give feedback to the MEC. Or these are the views expressed by the committee, jointly with the petition. And then you define a process formulation. And once you have done that, update us. And obviously your process formulation will have a time frames. They can be provisional, but at least we have got something to work on. And then we follow your process of engaging the mind, so that Ntatengkwete can be kept updated. One of the things that you make a mistake of not doing, you need to regularize updates to Ntatengkwete. Because I don't assume he's raising these issues for his own stead, you know. But he's standing in on behalf of multitudes of people who are users of that road, you know. So if you can regularize the reports, but he does not have to run around second guessing what is the thought process of the department, you know, but is regularly updated. But if at all possible, involve him. Maybe call him into your meetings, especially around the process. Because anyway, I mean, when you bring about such kind of an intervention, there must be stakeholder engagement anyway, you know. So bring him closer, so that he understands the issues and can be able to relay to other users of the road. Can we agree on that as a principle? Kore le faneng di number, kore a le tswa mo le faneng di number. O na le number tsa bona Ntatengkwete? Ya, e re ba o fa ona bjanong. Le wena o tsetsa bona, kore le change, kore ke le force or le nne le date. Kore ke le force into a date. You must meet, you must talk regular. Relationship ya hape le sa bolele ya putla, akere. So ba o fe number tsa hao, le wena ba fe tsa hao. And then you regularize feedback sessions. You can agree. Or maybe let's update each other, maybe every fortnightly, could be fortnightly. It might be reasonable, you know, just give regular updates, or a month. Monthly you give, you know, those updates. Can it work that way? Yeah. So he's agreeable, are you agreeable?
Yes, Honorable
Okay.
Chairperson.
Let's do it that way. There's an input.
Chairperson, we wanted to give you something that is happening now as we are sitting here. If you look at on your picture, there's a truck that is standing on that steep hill now, and there's a car behind it. Just imagine the danger if that truck loses tracking, what's going to happen to the person on the car behind? It's happening now as we are sitting here.
The road.
Yes, it's
That is the
happening
road.
now. This thing now, it's happening now.
Yeah, are looking same, because you can see. I mean, some of these trucks now going way, you know, if there's a rollover, you can imagine the disaster that would come out of it. No? So maybe let's agree, there will be an exchange of information. When you are frustrated, please come back to us. Lead DDG, because usually he's responsive. Marakera araba tlo lo rona re no ra abuse you, re no re no. Where you don't find joy and then we'll follow it up on your behalf. So maybe let's leave it at that, so that we all of the MEC, or these are the views of the committee. Ne? Yeah. So thank you very much. Some like I hope that the Kwele was following. They bring us closer to understanding what is the process. You know, so that when we recommend interventions, they are just nominal. That, and then we'll follow it up. I thought I saw another one. Okay, maybe let's. Where's Caesar? Maybe let's break for lunch. Otherwise, now would have gone on and on and on. But let me check whether we're ready for. Are we ready?
Thank you, Chair. Sanbonani. Sizocela nihlale la phansi bazonika ama-members. Sizophuma with that door and then we go upstairs.
Agree mundlule mmole. Batlo le thusa ntse le ntse mo fatshe ne. Tate re batlo starta ka bo mme pe. Bontate ke ditlhogo. So a re starteng ka bo mme. Go no fepiwa sentle. So we are journeying. We want to resume. Mesisa, what time can we resume? Ke batla re dumellaneng akere. We will only do 45 minutes. Is it okay? That quarter to 2. Come back again.
It might take longer, Chair.
Yeah, are collecting a speed so that we can resume, ne? Are collecting a speed, re kgone ho start a meeting wa rona. A re simolleng ntate Teane o ko kae? A re simolleng bjalo. Nako e sampane re tshwere bjalo. So, thank you very much. Re tlo kopa le iseng modumo ko tlase ne. Tswe. Ba ba leng ko morago. Maybe a re moveleng ko pele. A ke re wa itse re na le bothata bole ba re once lunch e ka serviwa. After lunch batho ba tsamaya ke re. So lona ba le setseng gore ne ke nana gore maybe re ka movela ko pele. Department of Human Settlement teng ya province. Ke mang wa city wa housing? Housing city. Ke mang?
Yeah, donation for this one, come on. Yeah. What donation at?
Eh?
baba bontate. Siyaphila. Ngicela ningigcwalisele lapho record paper. For what? For record paper. Into enikhuluma la ngayicela nizoyithola. Manifuna le record yala.
All right, thank you very much. I must apologize for that delay. Can I get that? The head of department. Yeah, Pindile Mbanjwa. Pindile Mbanjwa. Yeah, head of department of. So ordinarily, when we receive reports, report presents it. I don't want the report of Samaya Momoe. Because of another meeting, I think we can share the apology. Maybe you must do that. And she says she had designated Mengwenya. And so we also got hold of Mengwenya, who says she was not aware that she was supposed to be here. So that is the apology that we had just received. not, but we have disagreed with them, or they are wasting our time because we wanted them in the meeting. So what I legislature, next week, I think between Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, and then maybe really kopelo lona to come to the legislature. I'm sure the legislature for transportation will check. So that they come and present the report in person. Because what we have learned over time, korana gongwe batho ha dziwa e ba sa tle ba romela fela di report. It means una and a re batlo bua le report o le nobody will be there to answer for it. We prefer that thing. We have got people from the City of Tshwane, but they are not here on the issue of the donation of the land. So it would be unfair on the city to respond to something that they do not own. Of this piece of land, Kebako province. And so that is why we had been expecting that they will come and present the report. So as you can see, Batlilega apology which does not make sense. Baraba fast tracker expenditure. I get why fast tracker expenditure because you must do it every day anyway. Doesn't make sense. But I've just spoken to the HOD. I've also sent the text so that there's a record of our grievance of the report. So it might mean for now we stand down the matter. Up until the relevant people are in the meeting. Because we are rona fela rotlotla go re yona motlotlo. Re batla di answers, we want solutions to this issue. Again, re bona hore ba le thusa bjang with this specific matter. But yeah, I'm sure le lona I can give you a platform just to express your thoughts on the matter.
Ngiyathokoza Mgcinisihlalo. Ngiyathokoza ukuthola leli thuba. Izwisa ubuhlungu Mgcinisihlalo into eyenzwa ihuman settlement. Bayazi before ilegislature yazi. Abaleka ko namhlanje bangezi kanti bayazi before ilegislature yazi bantu. Manje siyacela ke kini legislature nani ukuthi kufanele siqalane nabo ukuze ifike kini ifike njani idlule njani kibo bangakhona ukusikhelebha. Ngiyathokoza.
Members maybe, are you fine? I might want to say something. Is there anybody who wants to say something?
Thokoze che nginilotshise. Ngisaba ukuphinda into ekhulunyiwe mara ke ngifuna ukuthi ngikuthokoze che kuma proceedings adlulile sikubonile asele badlulile bayezwakala ukuthi abakezi la bebadlula kuya ngempendulo zabo and ukuthi nalaba yabo it's worse than yalaba badlulile manje ke angazi nje mara ke ngithi mina ngikuthokoze nawe ngoba lokho ukubonile and angazi ukuthi why bangabi namahloni ngoba ize ifike ilegislature iyathi ukuthi kibo isizo bekufanele libe khona. All right, i-escalateile seyiku legislature still impendulo zabo zifana neza last year. angazi ukuthi what are their intentions, but now ngithokoze Chair, asiyibekele ilanga leli olutshoko ihleleke ngendlela oyitsho ngakhona, ngithokoze.
All right. Daddy, are you fine? Listen. So yeah, let me apologize. And it's a bit awkward because we apologize for something that we shouldn't be apologizing. All that we want are reports. And ordinarily we invite departments to report. And they report not as a favor to us. It's not a favor. But it's okay. Our legislation gives us powers. Or meeting, we can subpoena them. So we've got powers to summon, we've got powers to subpoena. I'll show you, I've just sent the text to the HOD who are really worried. Because people make time, they put up an effort to come to a meeting. Only that somebody who's supposed to give a report is not there. You know, it's it's irritating, to be quite frank. It's annoying, it's irritating, it's undermining, it's disrespectful. So rest assured, we will be following it up. And that your issue is being considered. Irrespective of where we organize that meeting, they will have to come. So, for this plan, I don't know how to explain it. You know, because fast track expenditure. So be, you know, excuse. So ndate na batlo bua. Ora.
Bengicela nje ukubuza okhunye Chair. Kungenzeka ukuthi kufika amakhetho adlule. Ngemva kwamakhetho kuzobe kusesengini noma ilegislature nayo iyachinja. Ngibuza lokhu ngokuthi mhlawumbe nakungena abanye uyothola ukuthi abasayiphushi ngalendlela nini ebenikhona eniyiphusha ngakhona silahlekelwe kuletha lesicelo ebesisicelile nina nisekhona nangabe nizophuma. Ngiyathokoza Chair.
Yeah, like I said, maybe way forward our Narva in the meeting to explain. The report is there. Mararabati report or riban. I get like one of report. So essentially what they are saying in the report, as a property, and my suspicion is that Bontate maybe might have questions to ask. Now there's nobody who will respond to those questions. You know. Like one recommendation, although the deeds office that registered the property is in Gauteng, the property remains in the jurisdiction of another province, as it has not devolved to Gauteng or GP. So devolved meaning being passed on or transferred. Again, therefore, the Department of Human Settlement is not empowered to facilitate the transfer in this instance. I'm sure, Lona, you may have several other questions. Again, we wanted you to ask these questions validly, so that there is clarity of these issues. I'm not about what Romelo's report. About in the meeting when we take this report. So, you want to something? Yeah. Are Grembona and then ma kono rufa tlhaloso e tlaleletseng. You see? If Mokomane tse di bontshang gore the property belongs to Mpumalanga. It's a naval report to it's blind. I get it. Yeah, so can I know maybe on the committee will follow up. Raleboa. So yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. Let's take Kana ke mang wa go Tshwane wa housing me petals o teng. Are you aware of this issue? Of this land? I know I might be putting you on.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, honorable members and the community. Yes, we are. In fact, we got 2 sets of cross-border properties, the west one and then the Mpumalanga one as well. Both of them we have regular meetings on. This particular issue hasn't been raised, but we will put it on the agenda. But I know that we've just got a letter about 2 months ago from the Mpumalanga Mega Economic Growth Agency to donate some other properties as well. I'm not sure that this is in, but we can check and let you know. Is ongoing and there is lots of work going on. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. So it does share a bit of light, but I'm sure you can up on that. But we'll also still request that the province to give us additional information. Thank you very much. Li utlwi la ke re bontate? Ore ba tla re checkela yona just so that we know. And then we'll guide you forward. We can still assist you to write a letter to the provincial government of Mpumalanga or whichever agency, so that re bone hore re le thusa bjang to facilitate an interaction.
Thank you, Chair. I've just been informed by the councillor that the Sello has left. According to the council, the street that the street that he complained about has been fixed. However, we've requested the team to locate him so that they can.
Petition. La re kwalla rona re tibisana le di department tse on your behalf. When they resolve an issue, mo tshwantse o tlo bontsha setšhaba re committee nthusitse ka bothata bole wa itsamaela. Kore ha o sa bontsha le ditebogo re ke batlo confirm on behalf of the community or that issue was resolved. You see? So it's also quite unfortunate because we expect you to give us feedback on whether your issue has been attended to. And we usually do it in these kinds of platforms. Again, so if he comes back, but if not, we will record that you will have a relate with the councillor that the matter was attended to. But thank you very much. Before we move on, we've got a delegation from the West Rand, because today we're supposed to be doing the formal launch of the e-petition system. So they joined us. I know the petitions committee, very, very efficient and very responsive. Where are they? Are they here? Oh, they are gone, they've left. Oh, okay, they've already left. So let's take the next petition.
Thank you, Chair. We'll then deal with petitions from Rayton, and then the city as well, who's going to be responding to all 3 petitions to go onto the table. So we'll be dealing with requests for assistance, Rayton, lack of basic services in Rayton, lack of development in Rayton, all at a go.
Let's check whether all the corresponding authorities are here. I don't want to be asking whether somebody's here, they are not here. It's tiring. That day, Sambo. So let's get somebody. Me Petal, they are saying it's you. I thought you were only about housing. Now I see basic services. I hope they are not putting you on the spot. That is Sambo. You must not be throwing Madame Petal on the spot. She's an expert. Who's responsible for basic services? Yeah, I know it's
Sorry,
not you.
Chair.
Yeah.
I'm with my colleague Erica, who's one of the planners in the department. So she's going to take us through, in fact, the last one, the last petition on the Rayton matter on development in the Rayton one. Through that, thanks.
Okay. You are sure, Erica, this is your specialty, your area of work? Because if I probe and you don't know, we're going to have a serious problem.
Good.
Yeah, we've also got two of our colleagues who are also based here. Us, we will answer
Yeah, let them join. Let's do a tag team. I get la one there's 4-4. Let's do 4-4. Because we want to take all of them at a go.
Thanks, Chair.
So what we'll do, we're going to read out, that is not, let's fall. We're going to read out all the summaries and then we'll ask the petitioners. Metreshi akumve. Ogwen. Rayton. Why is it? Eh? I got lots of blind dates. Get money more Tinder. I met her on Tinder. All right. So it's okay. We're going to do the summary. We're going to ask you to confirm. The City of Tshwane will give us responses for each. Ne?
So,
Is that okay?
So, Chair, we're going to give you the responses, some of the responses. It's a bit difficult to read them out, and we can tell you what we're going to do and what we can't. Thank you.
But now we're expecting all the reports. I'm not sure why you are saying we'll give you some. But yeah, maybe you will offer an explanation why you don't have all of them. So let's read all of them for recording.
Thank you, Chair. With regards to request for assistance in Rayton, registration PP 07B0619LO, SEICA, the petitioner requests indicates that they do not have a library, a park, or a recreation center, although there were commitments formally by the then Mayor Kosian Suramukupa. The petition was referred to the City of Tshwane Department of Sports. Follow-ups were made on the 23rd of October 2019. With regard to lack of basic services in 0619LO, in this regards, the petitioner alleges that they over community members who were located from various areas, including Mamelodi and Dongar, which was to be developed and proclaimed as a township. She further alleges that the mayor of the previous administration had committed that the community will be provided with water, sanitation, infrastructure, and they are still waiting. The petition was also referred to the city on the 10th of October 2019. Lack of development, Rayton PP 10B 0619LO. In this regard, the petitioner alleges that there is no development in their area as they still do not have a community hall and a health center after even appealing to the then mayor. The petition was also referred to the City of Tshwane on the 10th of October 2019. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Matreshia, that is the summary of the petition. Can you confirm the accuracy of its content?
Thank you very
We're recording everything. Like a thing, recording it. Or in this meeting, we really rare. Karereka words are recorded, no distort. Yeah.
everything that they wrote, it's accurate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So maybe let's not deal with that. Let's take the other ones so that the responses are all cumulative. Ne? Let's read out the other one.
Only three.
Yeah.
The three of them, I've read them all of them.
Oh, you've read all of them? Oh, to combine it. So it's okay. Maybe let me hand over to yourselves. You moved a bit with speed.
Chair, we're going to cover the issues of human settlements, so broadly the planning issues in the area. The three departments that needed to be here, I'm not sure if they are, were community services to deal with the library, parks, community halls and recreation center. I don't know if there's anyone from health to deal with that. And then the water and sanitation. My colleagues from roads and water will also deal with their specific issues. So if you'll allow us, Chair, we'll deal with the broader planning issues around human settlements planning in the area in terms of basic services, and then we'll take it from there. Thanks, Chair.
All right.
Okay, good afternoon, honorable members, petitioners and community. I can respond from a human settlements perspective on the formalization of what we understood from the petition to be Letabong, which is also known by us as Pienaarpoort Extension 21. We can indicate to you that the township establishment approval was granted by the Economic Development and Spatial Planning. Okay, so township establishment application was approved by Economic.
Let's start again and then speak out loud.
Okay, so I can respond on the formalization of the human settlements project, which we understood from the petitions we read and received to be known as Letabong, and under our planning we understood it to be Pienaarpoort Extension 21, which is which the township establishment application has been approved by the Economic Development and Spatial Planning Department on the 13th of March 2023. The general plan was submitted and approved on 4th of December last year. Currently, we're experiencing a challenge that there is no bulk water or sewer in that area. Our service provision division indicated to us that there should be upgrades for the bulk water and sewer to assist with the service provision for that area. So unless big upgrades are done on the sewer plants in Baviaanspoort And also, if water is being provided from the Lesotho Highlands project, we are stuck. Thank you.
Maybe just rationalize that for us. So there's an approval to formalize, you are saying? Since when? 2022 you said?
No, March 2023.
Or 2023?
Yes, it was approved.
And you are saying the obstacle is what? The issue of the water provisioning?
So we proceeded then with the general plan, which is the next step in the township establishment process. We did that. The approval was granted in December last year, so it's very recent.
The general plan, what is it, the layout?
Yes, so the layout has been pegged and people were relocated to stands.
And so what is the problem now, water?
Water and sewer. So the bulk, the big pipes that provides this actual water and sewer is not there. Yes.
Who is responsible for that? Who must be responsible for installations?
From my side, I would say the water and sanitation section, but remember they're also relying on if funds are available and if, like I was saying, the Lesotho Highlands project, but Honourable Member, it's difficult for me to respond to that
Yeah,
question.
maybe, yeah, that is the part that confuses me. Is it infrastructural or is it related to agreements for provisioning? Because the moment you start mentioning the Lesotho water, it's something else. Is it do we have to put the infrastructure in place?
Correct,
Yeah,
Chair.
I'm asking
It's,
who is responsible for that?
the Department of Water and Sanitation. However, when we engaged them around this, when we realized that there wasn't bulk in the area, they said it wasn't in the immediate plans, and so we have assisted them with funds for the next financial year to begin with the process. So yes, there will be some funds available from human settlements to help them to begin the process, so they then have time to budget in the outer years.
Is there no interoperable planning? Because when you do an approval for formalization of a settlement, almost immediately, there should be an appreciation that the consequent implication is that you must factor in planning to put up a bulk infrastructure, because you are approving and then deferring other elements that must go into making it a fully fledged settlement, pursuant to making it.
I'm sorry, Chair. I'm sorry to disrupt you.
Yeah, maybe let me finish. You will come in. I'll give you. I got to go through now. Yeah. I just want to get the sense first, or what are the interconnectedness in the municipal planning? Because how you are presenting it suggests that municipal units work in silos. Mayor Rika has done what she needed to do, but there's frustration elsewhere. And up until that has been resolved, we can't move. So I really want us to be honest. Mayor Rika, Mayor Petal, and colleagues. We know the situation, the financial situation in Tshwane. Do we think this matter can be attended to within a reasonable turnaround time? And reasonable, obviously, would mean anything between now and the forthcoming financial year. Is there anything that can happen in the forthcoming financial year? So that we don't create unending expectations. I'm one a proponent of not wanting to mask difficulties. Where there are difficulties, we unravel them, we point out. Or that this might be systematic issues, you know. Because how it's presented, it suggests that, well, it's not happening now, it might happen at some point, but when? The question becomes when, you know. Then we can talk about other things. Because you know what my anxiety is, let me tell you, and we've seen it in other communities. So in one area in Cullinan, it's called Etwatwa, something like that. They did exactly what Tshwane has done. Then other people inhabited spaces between houses. All of a sudden, it undermined the layout. So you have defined the layout of how the area will look like and be shaped, and how your infrastructure will run across the settlement. Then all of a sudden, people inhabited spaces in between houses, and they build. Now it's a messy situation. You can't correct it. So they must do reblocking, which is extensively exorbitant. You know? So my worry is that if we're not going to attend to it, it might have other dire implications on your planning. You know? And you know, we don't have a culture of being able to evict the people. It's a nightmare. It's quite an arduous undertaking. So, what are we saying?
Chair, if I can, so yes, we did realize some time ago that there was a problem with planning. However, given that we use, one of our grant funding is the Urban Settlement Development Grant, there were then discussions with the Water and Sanitation Department to help. Yes, we have had issues with planning and uncoordinated planning, but the EPMU, the Enterprise Project Management Unit, has been set up, and they're doing a lot of more of the coordination now. So through that mechanism, there is much more coordinated planning. So when the problem was picked up, we then rearranged the USDG funding for the outer years so that funding could be made available. There is, however, a bit of a problem because Rand Water has reached its quota in this area. And those discussions with Rand Water have been extremely difficult, and they still haven't lifted that moratorium. So there is also an issue around the moratorium because we can't really build the reservoir, start building the reservoir, and then there's no water for the reservoir as well. So those discussions are also happening with Rand Water as well. But yes, USDG has been made available for next year for the construction aspect of the project, and we're just now waiting for the discussions with Rand Water to deal with that for the water treatment plant. Thanks, Chair.
Tricia, you wanted to come in?
Yes. Thank you, Chair. I wanted to check on you on something. Remember 2020, you invited us on your office with the same petition, same promises, same issues. Nothing has been changed. So it seems like we are just hitting Moplekeng A1 because they will just come here, but another department is not here. Mina, according to my understanding, it seems like they are undermining us and they are undermining your department also because we came to your office. I still have the response, Tshwane 2020, the one that they sent me, but this is what they are going to do. So, but since then, nothing happened. And the biggest issue that we are having now, there is no water. That temporal water that they promised us to give it to the community, there is no water. There is no toilet. Those mobile toilets, there is no one who's cleaning them. We are suffering. So we are frustrated. Water to drink, we don't have it. But when they are still telling us about the processes and 2023, I'm just worried because this is the response that I got 2020 in your office. And I'm glad because you are the one who was sharing the meeting. You were there, I was there. And still on that day, the same thing happened. They didn't bring all the department to give us answers. But still today, we are still saying the same thing. And then what's going to happen to those people who are waiting for the response now? What's going to happen now? People, they don't have electricity. Litabong does not have electricity. We have 2 sections there. They gave Kopanong electricity, but Litabong does not have electricity. We don't have toilets. We don't have water. Those mobile toilets, let us forget about what they are saying. Let us forget about the sewer and everything. Let us say, for now, what must we do while you are still planning? What must we drink? Which toilet must we use? And like he just mentioned something very important. A lot of people has built houses. They have built. So we don't know who the pipe is about the local mokai. Maybe the other we don't know. Thank you.
All right.
Can I continue?
Let me give a member Mfigwe, and then I'll take you.
Okay. Thanks, Chair. Good afternoon. I think Chair the Tshwane does not really know what to say on the petition. We don't have a response. My anxiety grew when we spoke about the Highlands Water Project, which is at the end of the tail in terms of the provision of water. We are not getting a sense, Chair, of one, if the informal settlement is promulgated, firstly. We're not getting that sense. Because up until we clear the promulgation of the informal settlement, then your plans could fall in. You know, then your township establishment processes comes in, your application for bulk service provision comes in. Then at the end of the tail, because from Highlands Water is what we get out of the taps. It's not part of the planning. You know, so I got a bit anxious when twice the lady next to you was speaking about the Highlands Water Scheme, which is at the end of the tail, Chair. Maybe they should tell us if there is a process of making sure that the township has been established. Because if we have not established the township, this conversation is not going anywhere. We're going to be sitting with letters and letters, as Ma'am Joyce is saying, you know. So let us not give people false hope. Either there is hope or there's no hope. It can be false hope. It can be false hope. So have we started the move towards making sure that the place is proclaimed as an area that could get services? Then once we pass that hurdle, Chair, then we have something to have a conversation on. But the Highlands Water Scheme, let's pack it. It's not coming in up until we've sorted out all the planning, all the township establishments. Then we can say, from the water scheme, how do we get water? That ultimately comes out of people's taps. Thanks, Chair.
Yeah, I think Member Mfigwe captures it quite well. And in recollection, when we met, was it not in 2021? So at the time there was no formalization. There was no formalization. So the municipality has at least moved to formalize. So the formalization is done now. The outstanding issue is putting up of the bulk services. And I agree. I mean, maybe let's let's hold in abeyance the other issue about water flowing, for lack of a better word. We'll deal with that as a second phase. But the bulk infrastructure has got to go into place. And this is the report that we don't have. And you see, as I suspected, Metresia confirms it. People have now started to build. So you see how it retards your efforts. You have formalized, you have done the layout, now there's a reversal. So it becomes a never-ending process. You know, we are seeing it all too often. Not only in Tshwane, everywhere. The moment there's a disjuncture between approval to formalize and installation of a bulk services, disaster. You are bound to have disaster. And so I don't know how we're going to pass this hurdle. Because it means you now need to retrace your steps to remedy the situation that is now manifest in the area. So yes, the formalization has been approved. But how do you deal with the chaos of people settling in erratically? Because that will also undermine your ability to expedite the installation of these bulk services. Technically. It will extend it will extend the turnaround times. So if you had been planning that it's something that can be done within the next financial year, lo and behold, it might just not be the case, you know. Then I'll come back on the other issues Matricia is raising. What are some of the intermediate interventions as it relates to provisioning of water, temporary arrangement? Because you can imagine in an area where there's no water, I mean, it's inhabitable. It means people can't help themselves because there's also no proper. So maybe you might also give us an update on the question of sanitation, whether we're making provision for ablution facilities, what is the upkeep, maintenance of that? And then there was also the issue of electricity provisioning. I'm not so sure because of the layout, whether ESCOM would be willing to make installations, given that reality, you know. So the more we delay, essentially what we're picking up from this report is that the more you delay, the more there's a regression. You know, because I know at some point we have interacted with ESCOM. It will say, yes, the area is approved for formalization. But we can't get in. We have resolved the issue of the cleaning of the layout. ESCOM is not going to come. They are not going to invest their stock. Has now been undermined. So, what arrangement do we have in place to remedy that? Dealing with all those processes relating to re-engineering the process. Because elsewhere, we missed a step. And missing a step means going. You go up well, then you miss one step, you go back. And going back implicates the community. You know, it can be a nightmare. Yeah. My sister, you may come in.
Yes, so much, thank you so much, Chairman. As we go to school and study, I've learned one thing. Immediately when you write down a sentence or give a reason, after that put a but. Then we delete the whole sentence. It doesn't exist because you already put a but in. So meaning that your statement that you wrote to us when you told us that, when you were talking earlier, immediately when you put but, we know the sentence, it fades off. As we can see, this is Litabong. I'm a resident, 100% resident of Litabong. And this is what we come across. We have one must light there. The rain struck it. They never came to fix it. This is how our toilets are. This is how we go into them, Comrade Ezra. This is how they look. Can you show me the other one? Yes, our people must use that on a daily basis. And as we speak, there's rumors of typhoid and all of that. Our tanks have never been cleaned. We don't have water at all. Maybe if they can tell us today, right now, how many trucks did they send to Litabong specifically to assist us with water? Every day people must come. Now people are in business because the so-called contractors that they had, they are no longer working for Tshwane. They are out, so they're selling water. Each and every time people pay 300 rand or 350 to fill up a tank that is not cleaned. Whatsoever, nothing is happening. Maybe it's nice now that people from Tshwane are sitting there. They're working in Tshwane. But we stay in these situations. Speaking of the dumping sites, if you can see them, the smell, everything. If you can even ask them, when last did the Tshwane refuge truck go to Litabong? Never. Every day we sit and we come across these things, and now they're coming here telling us that our land, Litabong is approved in March 2023 and 2023 December, something was approved there and there. But what are they actually meaning? What is it that is approved? Because there is no change. In 2016, there was better. Now you made our place look like a dungeon. It's worse than it was worse before it became worse. It's not a place to stay in. It's unbearable. Streets. Maybe next time when you do such, when the legislature comes to communities, I think maybe the next time it must come to Litabong so that they can see everything by the eyes, be there, feel it, and then talk about it. Tshwane, stop playing with us. You're playing games with us and playing games with our lives and our children's lives and also our futures and our health. Every day, different political parties come. They come and go. But where are we? We are always on the bottom. And you direct, you may rise, you may fall, but at the end of the day, we are still, there is no change. None whatsoever. We are saying that you formalized Litabong, but what is in Litabong? Cars don't come in there. Check the main entrance. That is all, it's as if last time when we met, you said, you guys dumped us. And you said you never dumped us, but look at the dumpster that we are living in now in Litabong. There's no jobs, there's nothing. People are just, why are we there? Why did you even put us there? Maybe you should have left us, ne? Because now you're really, you are really playing a gambling or monopoly with us. Also, our communities need service delivery.
Yeah, let's come up. Obviously, this is a sensitive issue, but I want forward. There's formalization we can take, although formalization doesn't mean because there are other things that still needs to happen, you know. So how are we resolving on the issue is that we're engaging on this subject without the relevant line function unit, you know, and I'm not, anyhow possible. So what I had wanted to suggest, may need an updating report. And then we time your engagement with represent the issues that have been raised. And we update the report such that it has got somewhat of an indicative at times. I'm not so sure who will answer on temporary services. I want to share with your colleagues so that at least there's a bit of a sense. Since now, I mean, it's anybody's guess, including yourselves, addressed. It's unfortunate because they are not here. Had we known, I think we would have. How soon do you think you can have this interaction with them?
Okay. In terms of I think that Mr. Sambo can help us get the departments together in the next sort of week. You get a more in-depth report from, it is about 5 different departments. I think it will only because they need to also explain what the issues are around the moratorium and why it is. Yes, we can only say that we've committed funding for the construction of the bulk. Don't have any timelines. However, National has requested timelines, so well. So I think if you could just give us a week to meet, and then maybe another week. Yes, departments as well. If we can, Chair, I'd just like to very briefly ask Mr. Saroke to deal with both the water and sanitation. We have seen what a state they're in. Would need to get someone out there to do the inspection and make sure that they are, because it's obvious that our report differs from what we're seeing from the community as well. So maybe just a quick report and then we can.
Where's Russell? That is Sambo. Because I want us to, I mean, this is quite critical.
It's fine, Chair. We'll work with him and make sure that.
Essentially, what day are we on? So essentially, we should expect the report by the fall of the month. Let's get an updating report. It will speak about the bulk services, installations, number one. Number two, we will still appreciate, unless if it's somewhere in the other reports, the provision of the rudimentary services, as you say. Is it in the report? Or is it something that we are picking up now? So that will also have to be in the report as well, isn't it? So you will be updating us on the teams that you will have deployed to go and make assessments, but also intervene. So not only just assessments, because these are immediate issues. I mean, when you don't have ablution facilities, you can almost imagine where people go to relieve themselves. I mean, there's also the issues of a refuse collection and all of those related issues. Let's look into that and then put up a report. I think that will assist us a great deal. Because I'm not so sure how to move beyond. Yeah, I'm saying I'm not so sure how to move beyond those two. So the other discussions with Rainwater, I think we welcome them. But I can tell you, any settlement will have its own internal channels. Where Rainwater comes in, it's an external connecting points. So those are your converging lines. I'm not worried about converging lines, because Rainwater can determine, based on the layout that is already in place. So that one we can still deal with it. But if it's featured in the report, I think we can still appreciate that. But for the time being, if we can prioritize these two issues, including the issue of maybe build within it, the issue of electricity. Let's get a sense around how that will also come about, so that we are able to give some sense of a comprehensive report to the petitioners. I'm going to take you, Tricia. Let me take in that day. Come on. That is Sorote first, and then I'll come to you.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Good day, Badudi. Yeah, when coming to the issue of rudimentary services, it is true that we are providing Letabo with rudimentary services, but we must bear in mind that these rudimentary services go hand in glove with the issue of budget. We are dealing with budget-driven, not demand-driven. The reason being, we don't have enough. But at Letabo, we are supplying water through water tankers and chemical toilets. So these chemical toilets, Chair, are cleaned twice per week. It is just unfortunate that people who are cleaning this toilet, service providers need to hire community members to clean this. If they are not clean, meaning our community members are not doing justice to us. So, minimal, just because we are having a contract which is over. Now we hired a new service providers, whereby those service providers are not many. One water tanker per that area, and it's not enough. That one we do acknowledge that it's not enough. So the city is trying by all means to make it a point that water tankers, so that they will provide to the remaining informal settlement which are not having enough water tankers. Thank you very much, Chair.
Yeah, you know, my anxiety with what you are representing. You know, can skepticism is our trust when somebody just presents without a report. They are committing. There's a committing documentation. I don't want anybody who excites anyone. Reasonable things. Let's not mask any difficulties. If something can be done or it can be done, let's be honest, or it can be done within a short space of time. It can be done at this point in time. That's what I want. So that when people leave, they leave here knowing either to have an expectation or not to have an expectation, you know. And this is not in any way demeaning the fact that these services are very, very urgent. Very, very urgent. We can't overemphasize that part, you know. So let's rather apply ourselves thoroughly, so that when we put it on paper, we will have considered all the variables, budgetary considerations, all of those things will have been coordination, will have considered it. You know, then we present that report. At least it will set people at ease. But if we just throw it there, and then come 2 weeks from now, you have encountered difficulty in what you will have stated, it's a perversion. You know, so maybe let's stick with the way forward. Meet with all relevant units so that there's a you know this whole idea of human settlement is that it has got a lot of moving parts. It's not one thing. It has got a lot of moving parts. And so you want that there's convergence, a meeting of the mind, central. Because you will have planned, you will have dealt with the realities. And that is why earlier on I was asking you, what we might not be mentioning, it's the financial position of the City of Tshwane. It's a known reality. And so as we say these things, and that is why I'm saying be careful. Be careful. Go back, analyze, assess, give us a report which is truest. That surfaces all these possible challenges and what the interventions might be, both in the interim and in the long run. But if you say, no, we're working around the giving another track, we create a legitimate expectation. You might be in trouble. You see? So let's go back, let's get a report, and then we'll share with the petitioners. Here is the report, because we also want to follow up. The only way we're going to follow up, Mepetals, is once you have given us a framework. So that framework you are going to give us in 2 weeks' time will enable us to follow up now. We're going to run after you. Or you said this and that. Because as it stands, I mean, you don't have a scheduled framework of how, when certain things are going to be done. You know? So maybe let's deal with that in the immediate, and then we can come back to other issues. Tricia.
Chair, man, ke feel how nkebe tate a bolela at all. You know, because he just provoked us. A tlo re botsa ka budget. Of not need budget, gore a tsie gitara, a tlo go gora strata. I get you need 1 million to come and do that City of Tshwane. You know, I'm very disappointed when you just said to us, we must know that there is budget. We understand procedures. We understand processes. You can't tell us about the budget. From 2016 until now, you are telling us about the budget. That's not fair. You don't use mobile toilets. We are the one who's using mobile toilets. We don't use water tanks that are not clean. We are the one who are feeling that pain. So when you sit there looking at us, telling us that you use budget, it's very painful. It's unfortunate legislature, they did you favor to come this place. Nelikasi bakete ela itleting maka ko skirlek. One of you koloya here today, no yo tsamaya ka makaka, because we are sick and tired of everything that you are telling us. From 2016, today is 2024. You told us.
Treasury, Amabel. Okay. You remember what I said earlier when we started? Or this is the presidium of the legislature. So you know, there are other undertones which are dangerous. Again, I know your frustration, and we share in the frustration. And that is why we scheduled this petition to be heard. But let's try to avoid the use of other words, because if we don't caution against it, it might appear as if the legislature would have condoned it. Maybe let's not do that. No? We have been saying emphatically, these are serious issues, quite urgent. Let's work around how to address them. And we have agreed on a way forward. Again, we're sticking to that agreement. That Sambo, you were not here. You are going to assist the team to convene a meeting of all relevant units relevant to these issues, so that we get a sense, departmental, when, how issues emanating from these petitions are going to be addressed. And then we'll be presented with a report by the fall of the month. We want that when we exit the system, there's movement, you know. So if you can assist us through the office of the speaker to do that. and then we'll confer. If needs be, me Treshi. I get the Kopano Zarona will know I fella in these hearings. At the fall of the month, after having received the report, we'll determine to have a sitting with Tshwane under the same roof. We go through the reports, we interrogate them. Again, go Tshwane, whenever know there's a responsiveness. There's a lady there. Is she a CEO? Kim Mama, who's the CEO? I know she has promised me, Ori. She's now in. So there's somewhat of a reprieve through the COO. So I'm sure it shouldn't be a headache, including the city manager. You now have got a sober city manager, Mr. Medler. So we'll be able to secure that meeting and then deal with these issues. But we need to emphasize it. We need to cement our position. We are not going to let it slide. Again, we are not going to allow this matter to be delayed further than it has already been delayed. And that is why we want to commit the City of Tshwane through a report. A proper report. Again. So maybe let's leave that one there. Were there other issues that you wanted? I want us to move from this one. Issues. Yeah, I gotta get development, basic services, and then housing related issues. Ne? Is there anything? Okay, let's all lanta tekile mo.
Aje minjani lo abalavula kwithonya ka Chabalala nomtshamo wa Lithabong ni lidara ni Green Door Ambassadors Community Safety ni chairperson ya Women's League ni la ku tatisa ka ya mati ya Lithabong a Lithabong kuna problem yin'wana yikulukumba ngopfu ni nga chairperson ni nga lidara ni teka mali ya mina ya grant ya vana va mina ni xava mati ni xavela community. And the community I relocatangi mina I relocate hi masipala. And then community ya Lithabong ya suffer too much. Ya suffer too much. Why? Vanhu va default na ku nwa tiphilisi. Tiphilisi ifane irangisheka and the philisi inge yinwi hi mapa. Philisi inwa hi mati. Isono hi muntu wa Lithabong. Ku fikelela ka situation ya ku ri ni teka na mali ya vana va mina ya grant ni xavela muntu wa Lithabong mati ku ri va kota ku sweka. Ni kombela ku ri loko muku must end na yitwa ku must end, what about malapa a ya ringani? Xigubu tilidara tin'wanyani ti xava mati hi xigubu 5 rand. What about munhu lo aka nga veki a tirha na? Malapa a ya ringani, munhu I tlhoga na 5 rand, munhu tlhoga na 1 rand. A Lithabong ka phegiwa too much. Hikuva ya mfuleni ba ka mati ba kota ku sweka hi bona va swekela na vana. Isono hi muntu wa Lithabong. Hi ti 7 January a muntu wa Lithabong ku dlayiwe vavanuna va yi2 va dlayiwa hi timhaka ta yini ta izinyoka loko va landa gezi a sikirileke ku ri vana va kota ku hlaya tibuku. Ni twa ku vava i nga ri ni ngo rila hambi ni ngo hluvula hambi ni ngo ndla ni twa ku vava hi muntu wa Lithabong. Ku fikelela na teka na mali ya vana mina yi nga tirheli vana va mina ni ndlela malapa la ya sogolaka. Muntu wa Lithabong wa sogola. Wa sogola a ni nge hi phambeni hi ku loko ni wa phambeni ni ta sinya swilo. Inkomu.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can hear the frustration. And it's bad, I've been there, and then I went there. It's quite terrible. You know, my biggest worry is that it expands. The more we delay, it expands. And it might mean bringing about interventions can be undermined. You know. So no sooner we intervene, the better. You know. I don't know what is the planning framework of the city, but How many informal settlements does the city have?
We, the 2018 picture was 210. That has about doubled now, just a bit more than over 500 now. So, yeah, it is a bleak picture. Thanks.
Yeah, you know, the unfortunate thing is that Kokopano, Letabo, the community did not bring themselves there. You know, they were brought from Mamelodi, Donkerhoek, and there's a level of a neglect, you know, despite countless commitments. So we really need to look into these issues. I mean, it's bad. I mean, this thing of water purchases, remember this thing of water, it's a constitutional right. And so if communities constituted by people who are unemployed have to buy water, you can almost imagine. You can hear, I mean, stories of children dying because of illegal connections and all of that. But yeah, I think we have agreed on a way forward. Let's stick to that way forward. America. America. Yeah. Let's stick to remedy some of the anomalies. Like I said, my biggest worry, but it's now being undermined. We need, now we can investigate the better. You want to say something?
Just one. Water seems to be the clarion call. The tankers. Just one.
Arenya go bolele ka mo. Re nya gore molomo o tshela noka e tletse molomo. Re na re nya at the report. Let's leave it to feature in the report. Ne? All right, thank you very much. Month end, we receive the reports, we share, we study the reports, and then we make it progressive, it's okay. We'll find a way around it. We'll be there. So that is our way forward. Is there any other petition?
Yes, Chair. The one that
o bolla re feditse bjano e shelf re tla e bolela e fedile a e tlwaele re feditse ba setse ba dutse a ke re di boletse ko o file platform o emisitse ke a o fa o sa bolela ba o tsetse bjano ba o tsetse sebaka ntate. All right, thank you very much. Let's take the next one.
Thank you, Chair. The last petition is Third Road, Cullinan. Is Mr. Tatese Lote? Yes, Chair. Musa has checked on Tatese. Apparently, he went to check on the road. I don't know with who, and he has since switched off his phone. And apparently has requested that don't go to stand in for him. So I'm not sure if the committee will allow that.
Ntate Ngwet, a ke re ne re batlile ntate Sello ba re o tsamaile re confirmele gore ka nnete tsela eo ba e lokisitse ba re o kopile wena gore o mo tsenele bogatong. Setšhaba gore ntho e ya bereka e
Chairperson, so far there's been progress, but not so much. That committee is still having the challenges on the other roads.
Laga one, go re bola laga ndate sello one of the roads. 18, yeah, maybe let's read the summary so that we show you which one. Let's present the summary to you.
Mr. Sambu, who's responding from the city? Okay, can they take take a seat?
Let's get the gentleman and then dispense with it.
Okay. The title of the petition is Third Road, Cullinan.
Let's settle down. This is the last petition.
The petitioner is Mr. Thomas Sello, who resides in Extension 4, Refilwe, who was submitting of 18th Crescent Street, Extension 4, Refilwe. He alleged that the road cars struggle to use it, especially when it rains. He also alleges that other streets in the neighborhood were tarred except their street. He further alleged that they had informed the council about this. The petition was referred to the City of Tshwane on the 6th.
So that is the petition. And that the Thomas has submitted with us. Let's hear what the city is saying. Maybe let's get a response from the city.
Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Frank Lambert from the Road and Transport Department. I was the writer of this, or commented on this petition. As I understand now, today, that road was started, but I'm not exactly sure when. When I did my investigation, I took the aerial photos that was available to us and I saw the road was not tarred. So from there, we then drafted our comments. But when I went in today, I saw the road was tarred. So it was an oversight from our side, if I can mention it in that way.
Essentially, you are saying the road is tarred. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm. Yeah, that's what.
You not possibly take any pictures of that?
I was not myself at the road when we did the investigation. I did it from an aerial photo, which City of Tshwane had, and it showed there that the road was not tarred. So it might have been an old aerial photo which I was not aware of.
Yeah. The difficulty is in engaging a petition whose author is not in the meeting, because he sent a report to us saying that it has been attended to. So we don't know how to...
Chairperson, my suggestion will be, as responsible citizens, today as we leave to this meeting, go and clarify what is happening on site and report that is sent to your office. Thanks.
Can we do it?
It's perfect, but I don't mind. Perfect.
Yeah. If it's tarred, we close it off. If it's tarred. Yeah. Maybe let's not engage it any further, because at least we've got a way forward on it. We'll check. And then if it's done, no need for us to engage the matter any further.
Yeah, I fully agree.
That's the last of our petitions. I get it. We want to encourage you to submit more petitions. Ona le bon tate le bon mme. Mara go bofelong ke rato le leboa. For le gonno rutlo. This is how democracy must work. Government must hear you on all of your grievances. Le shy off from bringing issues to us. But let me tell you that I observe, we have got more service delivery system ya rona so. But we hardly ever receive petitions saying, hey, nagena le kgwebo growth and development agents, mbilets and this and that. Ali di has the petitions tseo. Right? Bacha. Angale re kwalla di petitions are nagena le di khogonyana mbilets and Department of Agriculture. Khomo la itse. Ba gono le fa di khogo, ba gono le fa di seeds, di spades. Balebele mara di petitions tseo hanga le di raiser. Le raiser fela tsa dintlu and any other thing. Monyetla ke yo, agere opportunity ke yo. Ba ile re le na le business, re batla bitsa MEC economic development, hanga re meet because hanga re agere hanga re bitsa MEC wa social development. Or mathata di NPO ke. Hanga le re botsa ka bona, okay, chairperson ya economic development. Ba sita mo committee. Mme o lwa tsamaileng ke chairperson ya go health. Tse pedi tsa hanga di receive di petitions tsa sports ore re na le athlete nngwe ya o nyaka go dlala rugby wa tlo dlala cricket. Ore ke na le cooperative mara re kry a utlwala kere. So thank you very much. Re kopa le tsamaileng.
Whose pen is this?
Thank you.